Hi BookTube, Sarah here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my April 2020 TBR. Say it with me everybody, it's TBR time! Yay! Oh, this is crazy pants. This TBR is crazy pants. Seriously, crazy pants. I am so excited for my April TBR. As usual, I have stuff broken down into categories. If you're new to my channel, this is how I do things. I pick books based on different challenges and things that I'm doing. If there's any read-alongs over the course of the month, library books, you know, whatever. So I do have 40 books here that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. 40. So the reason I do this is A, because I'm crazy pants, and B, because I have, I think, something close to 3,000 books on my want to read list on Goodreads. And that want to read list is all books I own, just so you guys are aware. Those are all books that are either physically or digitally in my possession. So in order to, I am not a mood reader, and I've talked about this a lot. I am definitely a TBR reader. And I put all these books on my TBR because then I take that 3,000 books and whittle it down to like 30 or 40 books. And then those are the ones that I pick from over the course of a month. And I have to pick from within that, those books that I've picked. Essentially, that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, guys. So yeah, I've got a lot here that I want to share with you guys. The whole thing is will I get to all of these? Probably not. I almost guarantee if I get to read half of these books, I will be super, super pleased with myself. So that's kind of the end goal, is about 20 books for the month. But I do have, like I said, 40 of them here to share with you guys. Some of them do rank a bit higher than others in terms of for needing to read them for certain things. But yeah, we should just jump into it. Just before I do want to mention, so every month I do participate in the Romance Readers Reading Group Challenge over on Goodreads. I'll leave a link to it below. So every month what happens is they put out a list of 10 different challenges or prompts. And one of them is like read a certain author. One of them is a, they focus on whatever month it is and read a book with that color or something like that. Anyway, it will, if you check the link below, it will be explained to you. That being said, I am actually hosting the challenge for April this month. I am so excited. They reached out to me. I did it once last year, and they reached out to me saying, hey, would you be interested in doing another one this year? And I'm like, sure. And they're like, can you do April? And I'm like, sure. So I did put together the April one. So of course, like I said, link below. I will also list all of the books that I'm about to talk about. And the other thing is too, so this video does not become ridiculously long, I will not be getting into a lot of what these books are about. So do keep that in mind. I'm going to try and keep this as short and sweet as possible. But like I said, books will be listed below in case you want more information. So we will start off with the fact that in April, I am so excited. I am going to be on Nicole over at Who Picked This Book. I'm going to be on her channel for 2 episodes. She does live shows on Wednesdays, and she talks about books with her and Jen. And I'm going to be doing 2 of them with her. One of them on the 7th of April and one of them on the 21st of April. So there are 2 books that I need to read for those ahead of, because we're going to be pretty much just be doing a book discussion. So the first one for the 7th of April is SVU Surveillance by Julianne Lindsey. This is the first book in the Heartland Heroes series, so I'm very much looking forward to this one. And then the second book that comes out in April, is Protecting His Witness by Julianne Lindsey, book 2 in the Heartland Heroes series. I do have a copy of it here. It doesn't come out till April at most retailers, but for those of you who love Harlequin books, as much as I do, check the Harlequin website. You can always buy the books a month in advance. So I did get a physical copy of this one, so I am looking forward to that. So those are for the Who Picked This Book live show reads. So next up, I am co-hosting a readathon with my very good friend Elizabeth over at Lizzie Faye Loves Books. Link to my announcement video in the description box below. This is the 4th year in a row we have done Amish in April. Essentially, it's to read Amish books. But we do have some prompts. I went through all of the prompts in that video. I'm not going to do it again here. But I do have 4 books picked for Amish in April, and I am excited about all of them. These are not your traditional Amish romances. These are all mysteries, cozy mysteries. One of them, the first one's a little bit grittier than even that. So the books I have for that are Gone Missing by Linda Castillo. This is the 4th book in the Kate Burkholder series. Really love this series. Then we have Lethal Licorice by Amanda Flower. Book number 2 in the Amish Candy Shop Mystery series. Murder Simply Brewed by Vannetta Chapman. This is book number 1 in the Amish Village Mystery series. And Plain Target by Dana R. Lynn, which is book 1 in the Amish Country Justice series. So those are the 4 Amish books that I'm going to be reading in April. I will be doing, now the Amish in April runs from the 9th to the 18th, but you can read Amish books all month long. You don't just have to read them during that week. Elizabeth and I are toying with the idea of a live show at some point, but I do know that first weekend on the 9th, 10th, and 11th, I'm going to be vlogging that weekend. So I'll be kind of doing an Amish reading vlog, so I thought that would be kind of fun. My next batch of books are my NetGalley books. So I have 10 books that I specifically pick from NetGalley to read. There are a few other NetGalley books I will be reading that are scattered into other challenges, but these ones are specifically picked from my massive backlog of NetGalley books to read. So the first one is The Last Carolina Sister by Michelle Major, and that is the 3rd book in the Magnolia Sisters series. I have read the first 2 books, really love them. I'm looking forward to concluding the series with this book. And that being said, I will then also be reading Wildflower Season by Michelle Major, which is the 1st book in the Carolina Girls series. Now, this book does not come out till May, late May, I think. But I was told that a character that you meet in The Last Carolina Sister is the main character in Wildflower Season. So I do want to read them at some point, sort of back to back this month. So another one that I have from NetGalley is Undone by Kelly Rimmer. This is book 3 in the Startup in the City series. We also have a cozy mystery, On Borrowed Crime by Kate Young. This is the 1st book in the Jane Doe Book Club mystery series. I'm looking forward to that one. A lot of first in series this month, which is kind of not usually the norm for me. This one, the cover on this one is beautiful. Breakfast at the Honey Creek Cafe by Jodi Thomas. This is the 1st book in the Honey Creek series. And this one is already, most of these except for Wildflower Season have already been published. Some of them are almost a year old, you guys. I really have a big backlist on NetGalley that I need to get through. But this book, in case you wanted to read it as well and it looked good, it is available on Kindle Unlimited if you wanted to check it out yourself. Another one, How Sweet It Is by Robin Lee Hatcher. This is the 3rd book in the Legacy of Faith series. This is a Christian faith-based romance, so I'm looking forward to it. And then we have Crowned for My Royal Baby by Maisey Yates. This is a standalone novel. It's from the Presents line. Maisey Yates is so great. I'm looking forward to this one. We have Covert Cover Up by Elizabeth Goddard, which is the Mount Shasta Secrets, book number 2. And this one is a love-inspired suspense novel. So it is a faith-based romantic suspense, essentially. And then we have Agents Mountain Rescue by Jennifer D. Bokal. This is book 2 in the Wyoming Nights series. Looking forward to this one as well. And last but not least for the NetGalley books, A Tale for Two by Mara Wells, which is the 2nd book in the Fur Haven Dog Park series. I also have the 3rd one to read from NetGalley, but maybe I'll get to that one in May. I wanted to read book 2 before I went ahead and read book 3. I'm trying to get better with my series and trying to read them in order, but sometimes it just doesn't work out, and I'm completely okay with that. So the next challenge that I have is the TBR Tackle. So essentially what that is there's a group on Goodreads called the Nothing But Reading Challenges group, and they do this TBR Tackle every year, where either you pick a number of books for the whole year, or I do it monthly. I pick 5 books every month. It's however you want to do it. And you essentially take your want to read list on Goodreads, and either you do a random number generator to pick a book, or you can randomize that list and pick books. And then you read those books. And that's essentially what I do. So I'll leave a link to that below too in case you guys want to join. It's never too late. I think last year I jumped in sometime in the summer. So it's perfectly fine because it's a read at your own pace kind of a challenge. So the first one is Rebel Cowboy by Nicole Helm. This is book 1 in the Big Sky Cowboy series. This is actually a reread. I read this book like 3 or 4 years ago. I think 4 years ago at least. And I don't really remember much about it. And when I was looking at some stuff on my Kindle, this book came up and I'm like, I kind of want to reread that one because I'm a really big fan of Nicole Helm. And this is one of her earlier works, so I'm interested in checking it out. Then we have The Carriage House by Carla Neggers. This is book 1 in the Carriage House series. I believe that this is a romantic suspense. Based on that cover, it looks like a romantic suspense. Then we have Wild Hearts by Sharon Sala, which is, I think, book 1 in the Secrets and Lies series. Looking forward to this one as well. Sharon Sala is a great, great author. River to Redemption by Anne H. Gabhart. This is a fairly new purchase. I bought this one just maybe less than a month ago for Kobo. It was on sale, and it's a historical fiction novel, and that's pretty much all I know about it, but I do really enjoy a good historical fiction, so this one definitely had to get put on this list. Didn't have to, it just happened to come up. But the last one I do have to admit, sorry, I'm just trying to get it out from under this pile of books, is one that I specifically put on here because I really wanted to read this one. And speaking of historical fiction, I will also be reading The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah. So I am really looking forward to this one. It takes place during the Great Depression. It sounds really, really good. And yeah, I think that this one is going to be a lot of fun. Not fun. Fun's the wrong word to use for the Great Depression. I think it's going to be really interesting. Now, I have heard a few things about this one, how it's a difficult read, so I can absolutely appreciate that, but I will update you guys, of course, when I read that one. So yeah, so that's it for the TBR tackle. Next up, the Book Sisters. Me, Chloe, and Bree, of course, we do the Book Sisters, which is a monthly kind of book club. We have different themes every month, and we pick a book, and then we read it, and then at the end of the month, we will sit down and discuss the book. So for the month of April, the book that was picked is Good in Bed by Jennifer Weiner. So the theme for this month was chick lit, like classic chick lit novels. So one of the other picks was Bridget Jones's Diary, and then another one was The Confessions of a Shopaholic. Confessions of a Shopaholic was the only one that I have read before, but it was many years ago. So this one I've never read, but I do like her work. The only thing I've read by Jennifer Weiner is actually her memoir, and I really liked it. So I am very much looking forward to this one. Now, the cover I'm showing you, I have to be honest, I am not a fan of the covers of this book. Like, I went through Goodreads and I looked, and most of the covers I don't love. I just don't know what it is. They're not great. But this one stood out at me, and I was actually going to order a copy of this because I found it on Book Depository, and then I realized this is the 20th anniversary edition, and it doesn't come out till September. So if I like this book, I might go ahead and pick up a copy of it come September. But because it was the one cover that I actually liked, I thought I'd use it here for you guys. But yeah, so we will be reading this one for the Book Sisters. So do, if you're interested, read along with us and join in on the live show at the end of April. Next up, I am rereading through the Crew of Hunters series by Heather Graham. So I am up now to book 3, which is Sacred Evil. This is, as I just said, book 3 in the series. I have read these all before. This is a kind of paranormal-ish romantic suspense. It features a lot of ghosts. That's the paranormal aspect, is ghosts. And they are an FBI team who hunts ghosts. So as I always like to say, think the X-Files, but ghosts instead of aliens. Next up, this is a new category because, as I've mentioned in other videos, Bree and I, over at Falling for Romance on Instagram, one of my bestest friends, we have started a podcast called the Categorically Romance Podcast. And we talk essentially all about Harlequin category romance. And I have, over the last few weeks, been placing some orders with Harlequin, and I've received a lot of books that come out in April. As I said, you know, even though they're not released yet to like Amazon and stuff, you can buy them off the Harlequin website a month in advance. So I have a bunch of books that are coming out in April from Harlequin, and I do want to get to them this month. So I can kind of be up on some of the newer releases, essentially. So the ones that I have here, there are 6 of them on this list. One of them I'm still waiting to show up from Harlequin that I've ordered. So the first one is Twin Games in Music City by Jules Bennett. This is a Harlequin desire novel, and it is book number 1 in the Dynasty's Beaumont Bay series. I am very much looking forward to this one. And then we have a Harlequin historical novel, and that is Caught in a Cornish Scandal by Eleanor Webster. This is Will Saving a Stranger Start a Scandal? And I think it's something to do with like a pirate ship. Smuggling. It's to do with smuggling. That's what I know. So I do love the historical novel, so I'm looking forward to that one. Again, all these are being released in April. We have a Presents novel, The Greek Wedding She Never Had by Chantel Shaw. So yeah, that cover is just gorgeous, isn't it, you guys? Oh, just lovely. And then we have the one that I don't have in my possession yet, but I'll pop a picture of it up here. This is The Bad Boys Redemption by Cindy Powell. I have read this author before. This is a Harlequin heartwarming novel. I'm really looking forward to this one. That cover is really pretty, isn't it? And then last but not least, 2 special edition novels. The reason we're doing 2, because Brie and I are actually going to be talking about these later on in the podcast. So like down the road, like probably first week of May. So if you guys are interested in reading along with these, like these are what we're going to be having as our kind of group read for the month of April. You can read these with us and then join us for the episode where we talk about them. So the first one is Their Second Chance Baby by Tara Taylor Quinn. This is the 6th book in the Parent Portal series. And it's to do with a fertility clinic. So yeah, sounds good. And then the other one, I just love this. This one sounds so cute. The Trouble with Picket Fences by Terry Wilson is the other one. And she could teach him to turn lemons into lemonade, it says. Isn't that cute? Isn't that just like the prettiest, springiest cover? It just makes you happy, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one as well. So there are the new releases from Harlequin. I'm probably going to be doing that every month. Picking 5 or 6 brand new releases. I'm going to try to get to different lines every month. Like I picked these ones this month, maybe next month I will pick different lines. And I will try not to double up going forward, but it just so happened to work out this month. Next up I have what I'm calling extra books, because I need extra books. So there are 2 that I'm going to be reading. Teasing Her Seal by Anne Marsh, which is a Blaze novel, as well as Hookup by Anne Marsh. And this is a dare novel. Now, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of the dare novels, but this one sounds good. It's what did it say? An angry ballerina and a billionaire. And it's like an enemies to lovers. And I'm like, okay, I will read this one and see what I think about it. But there's, again, a reason that I'm reading both of these, which will become clear if you listen to the podcast. So right now, and since we started this, and I'm not trying to harp on the podcast too much because this channel is my baby, but a lot of the reading and stuff like that is, some of it's going to be dictated by what we're doing over there. And I think that's great because even though I do generally read a lot of Harlequin category romance, this is just pushing me to read that much more. And I am loving it. I am loving having the quote unquote excuse to do so. So anyway, but of course, everything will be talked about here. Everything. So don't think that you're going to have to wait to hear my review on these books over there. I will review these as I would any other book that I'm reading. And is this, no, not the last, second last, The Grab and Go Bag from the library. Now, I talked about these books already very briefly. I did a whole video on it, that I picked up this like mystery grab bag from my library. So I do have these on my list and I'd like to get to them this month. So we shall see. So I will go through them for you guys again in case you didn't see that video. So we have I Know a Secret by Tess Gerdison, maybe? I'm not sure how to say her name. I should look that up. I apologize. And this is the 12th book in the Rizzolian Isles series. Looking forward to this one. I know this was a series my mom and dad really liked watching. My dad especially enjoyed this one, so I'm interested to see. I think one of the characters is like a detective and the other one is like a coroner or something like that, so I'm interested. The next one I have is Missing Persons by Michael Brandman. I have never heard of this author before, but this one looks really good. Takes place in LA. The main character is a homicide detective. So yeah, these seem like to be like really gritty. And this one looks like a pretty easy read. I mean, the text is kind of big and it looks like it's almost double spaced. So that should be a quick and easy one to get through. Then I have The Nature of the Beast by Louise Penny, which is the 11th book in the Chief Inspector Gamache series. Now, everyone who saw that video has been mentioning to me that I should read this series in order, and I appreciate that. I thank you guys very much for mentioning that. I am going to go ahead and read this one if I get to it in April. If I don't get to it in April, then I will go ahead and hunt out the first book and start there. But if I get to this one in April, then I will read this one, and if I like it, then I will jump back and start at book 1. So, yay. But again, I really appreciate when you guys let me know that kind of thing. Seriously, I really, really do. And then this one, these last two I'm really looking forward to. So we have What You Pay For. This is by Claire Askew, and this is a D.I. Birch novel, the second book in the D.I. Birch, which I found out stands for Detective Inspector. And that is like a UK Scotland thing. In this book, several of you pointed out to me when I held this one up, it does take place in Scotland. It's in Edinburgh. So, yay, I am really looking forward to reading this one. I think it's going to be really great. I love a great floppy trade paperback. And last but not least, for those books from the library, this one, which I am super stoked about. I heard a couple people said that they read this one and that they enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular, but it was enjoyable, and that's enough for me. And that's The Tenant by Katrine Engberg, I believe is how you say her name. This is actually translated from the Danish, I believe. Is that what it... I know it's translated. Translated by Tara Chase, and I believe it's from the Danish. Denmark. Yeah. So... And I believe this one takes place in Denmark, which is very exciting. So, yay. I'm really looking forward to this one as well. Most of these I do not know what they're about, but I try to go into my mysteries that way because I think it's a little bit more fun. Because sometimes, if you read the back of the book, it can give away way too much. More than you wanted to know, essentially. And last but not least, I do have 4 Babysitters Club books on this list. I'm hoping to get through all 4 of them. We shall see. So I've talked about all these at another point, just other months that I never got to them. So we have Marianne Plus Too Many Babies by N.M. Martin, book 52 in the Babysitters Club series. Christy for President by N.M. Martin, book 53 in the Babysitters Club series. Mallory and the Dream Horse by N.M. Martin, book 54 in the Babysitters Club series. And the last one, potentially for this month, we have Christy and the Missing Child by N.M. Martin, book number 4 in the Babysitters Club Mystery Series. So I am reading these in chronological order of release date. So the mysteries and special editions and stuff will jump in around with the regular series as I read through them. So that's it, you guys. That's the TBR for April. I told you it was crazy pants. Like I said, if I get to half of these books, I will be super pleased with myself. But again, this is giving me a lot of choice. I actually do pick my books, though. You know, I don't look at them and go, what do I feel like reading? I literally have an app on my phone that's like a spinning wheel to pick things. And when I'm ready to read another book, I have all the books listed on that spinning wheel. And I just press it and it spins, and whatever book it lands on is the next one that I read. So that's how I figure that out. But anyway, you guys, I will let you go. And I will talk to you all in my next video. Until then, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.